Your teacher today is Dr. Bbosa Science. Dr. Bbosa is a teacher at the Science Foundation College, the best school that teaches sciences. Today, 14th December 2020, we are going to study gaseous exchange at A level. Our website is digitalteachers.co.ug. Here find notes, exams, and their marking guides in physics, chemistry, biology, and math. Our YouTube channel is Digital Teachers Uganda. Here find related videos in physics, chemistry, biology, and math. The best secondary school in Uganda is the Science Foundation College. The best primary school in Uganda is Rock of Ages Primary School. In small organisms, gaseous exchange adequately occur over their body because they have large surface area to volume ratio. Large organisms, on the other hand, have small surface area to volume ratio, and gaseous exchange over their body surface is inadequate to fulfill their gaseous exchange demand. They have therefore developed special gaseous exchange surface. Adaptations of gaseous exchange surface. They are permeable to gases to allow gases cross through. They are thin to reduce diffusion gradient. They have large surface area. They are moist. Dissolution of gases in this moisture increases diffusion gradient. Examples of special gaseous exchange surfaces in animals: protozoa, earthworm, flatworms, and small organisms use their body surfaces because these ones have got enough surface area to volume ratio. Tadpole uses external gills. Fish uses internal gills. For mammals, birds, reptile, amphibians use lungs. Insects use tracheals in the trachea system. Amphibians, egg, frog use buccal cavity and skin in addition to lungs. Gaseous exchange in insects. Air is pumped through the trachea to the tracheals where gaseous exchange takes place. Ventilation is by rhythmic movements of thoracic and abdominal muscles. Control of gaseous exchange in insects. 1. Opening of spiracles is controlled by chemoreceptors. 2. Ramification of tracheals to the cells depends on metabolic needs of the tissue. 3. The ends of tracheals are filled with fluids. In active muscles, accumulation of lactic acid drains these fluids, enabling more air to enter the tracheals. Limitations of tracheal system. It lacks an effective ventilation mechanism. It limits the size of an insect. Gaseous exchange in a fish. It occurs between water and the gills enclosed by operculum. Adaptations of gills for gaseous exchange. 1. Thin membranes. 2. Numerous to offer large surface area. 3. Well supplied by blood capillaries that supply the oxygenated blood and carry away oxygenated blood, maintaining diffusion gradient. 4. They are protected from damage. Inspiration in the fish. Water is sucked through the mouth by expansion of buccal cavity and then into the opercular cavity over the gills by expansion of opercular cavity and contraction of buccal cavity. Expiration in the fish. Water is expelled through opercular opening by inward movement of operculum and continued contraction of buccal cavity. The mouth closes, operculum valve opens. Counter and parallel flow in the fish. In the counter flow, blood and water over the gills is in opposite direction. This allows maximum extraction of oxygen from water by maintaining diffusion gradient between the water and blood. In the parallel flow, blood and water over the gills flow in the same direction. In this system, blood is less saturated with oxygen than in a counterflow system because the diffusion gradient follows with time. It can, however, be improved when the speed of water is higher than that of blood. Gaseous exchange in man occurs in the lungs located in the thoracic cavity formed by ribs. The floor of thoracic cavity is formed by the diaphragm. Ventilation is by contraction of intercostal muscles and diaphragm. Inspiration. Air is drawn into the lungs via the trachea and bronchi by increasing the volume and lowering pressure in the chest cavity. This is done by contraction and flattening of the diaphragm. 2. Contraction of external intercostal muscles that raise the ribs upwards and outwards. Expiration occurs by reducing volume and increasing pressure in the chest cavity by 1. Relaxation of diaphragm muscles forming a dome into the chest cavity. 2. Contraction of internal intercostal muscles and relaxation of external intercostal muscles that move the rib cage inwards and downwards. Alveoli. These are gaseous sacs in the lungs where gaseous exchange occurs. Adaptation is of alveolus for gaseous exchange. Alveolus is the singular for alveoli. 1. Thin membrane to reduce diffusion distance. 2. Water supplied by blood capillaries that maintain diffusion gradient. 3. Numerous to provide large exchange surface area. 4. Contain fluid that dissolve gases to increase diffusion gradient. 5. Contain surfactants preventing them from collapsing. Ventilation cycle. The names of volume changes that occur in the lungs during breathing in and out are shown below. Tidal volume is the volume one breathes in and out at rest. 2. Ventilation rate is the volume of air breathed per minute is equal to tidal volume times the number of breaths per minute. 3. Inspiratory reserve volume is the extra volume above the tidal volume one can expire. 4. Expiratory reserve volume is the extra volume above tidal volume one can expire. 5. Residual volume is the volume that remains in the lungs after forceful expiration. 6. Dead space is the amount of air that remain in trachea and bronchi where gaseous exchange does not take place. 7. The inspiratory capacity is equal to tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume, or is the maximum amount of air one can breathe in. Number 8. Functional residual capacity is the amount of air that remains in lungs after normal expiration. 9. Vital capacity is the maximum volume of air expired after maximum inspiration. Effects of oxygen and carbon dioxide on breathing. Pure oxygen at normal atmospheric pressure has no effect. At high pressure, pure oxygen leads to increased metabolism, increase in body temperature, denaturing of enzymes, and death. High carbon dioxide concentration leads to acidosis, inhibiting enzyme activities, and death. Acidosis is low pH of blood. Control of breathing. Ventilation center is located in the medulla oblongata. Variation of carbon dioxide in the blood is detected by carotid bodies. Gaseous exchange in the plants occurs through numerous stomata in the leaves and lenticels in the stem. Spongy mesophyll have large air spaces that facilitate gaseous exchange. Adaptations of animals in low oxygen tension. 1. High concentration of hemoglobin in red blood cells. Numerous red blood cells. 3. Hemoglobin with high oxygen affinity. Then 4. Increased ventilation rate. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Our website is digitalteachers.co.ug. Here find notes, exams, and their marking guides in physics, chemistry, and biology. Or visit our YouTube channel, Digital Teachers Uganda, for related videos in science at primary and secondary school. The best secondary school in Uganda is the Science Foundation College. The best primary school in Uganda is Rock of Ages Primary School.